I missed the rip.
Welcome to the Rare Insights Podcast, The Rip. I'm Mikey Reds.
I'm Billy Ruggs.
And we're keeping it real. We should just get right into it, honestly.
Let's get right into it,
It's our
man.
first podcast.
Yeah, boy.
We're a little nervous, excited at the same time.
I'm hype.
We're doing this.
We're really doing this, man. This was a long time coming.
Yeah. It was about 3 weeks.
Now the idea was there a little longer. I think
Yeah.
it was just having to adjust to like the vision we both had for it. I think that was what we had to really settle on for us to make this happen.
Yeah, man.
We got there.
Well, we're here.
We're here, man. We're finally here. So I guess we'll just start off just talking a little bit about ourselves, man, because I think we want to get our crowd to kind of get to know us a little bit. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, this is so interesting. So I was born and raised in Southern California, born in Sun Valley, which is probably not too far from the studio, maybe about 20 minutes. I was raised in Pacoima. For all you guys out there that know where Pacoima is, it's not a safe place. No, I'm just
Definitely not.
Nah, yeah. Where I lived, it was okay because we lived on top of a hill in a gated community, but like all around that hill,
gated community.
It was the hood. You know what I mean?
Must be nice.
But the school I went to was super ghetto. McClay Middle School.
So was it gated for the wrong reasons?
Hey, was it the type that had the bars on the windows?
Right. With the what is it called? The barbed wire at the top.
Nah, man. It was just one big black gate, a bunch of townhomes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was cool, man. I had a pretty good childhood, except for the fact that I was alone and depressed. Nah, just. We can get into that. We'll talk more about the details of our lives and all, but yeah, let's not get into that right now. I don't want to scare people off.
So you went to McClay Middle School?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is that Pacoima or is that considered like San Fernando? Isn't it?
Nah,
is that the city?
It's Pacoima.
Pacoima?
Yeah, it's literally a block. And San Fernando Middle School is in San Fernando.
Yeah.
But yeah. My mom got married when I was 9. It was just me and her my whole life. I'll get into it a little bit. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
I was a mama's boy, so I was like, to today, I'm still a mama's boy. Actually,
right,
yeah.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see me call my mommy?
Oh yeah, you're always on the phone with your mom.
I just talked to her actually for a second. Nah, man. It's been about 4 hours, you know. So. Yeah. So she got married when I was 9. It was just no longer me and her. I didn't like my stepdad for like a really long time. We actually lived in the same house and didn't talk for 10 years. Like we would pass through the kitchen and go to the living room and not say a word.
Like 10 years straight of that.
Yeah, like 10 years. Nah.
Not on and off, just straight not talking to your dad.
No, just not talking to my. Don't say
Stepdad?
Dad. Say it one more time. Let me drink my Monster.
Man, that's crazy. So that's up until you were 19 then? Around there? It's 10 years?
Nah, you know what? Maybe it was longer. Maybe we would start talking a little bit, but I was like 22, so maybe like 13 years because I was 9, right? Maybe about 13 years, yeah. Damn, which was odd. We would use a way to communicate to each other by talking to my mom. Hey, can you tell him this? Or he'll be like, hey, can you tell Michael this? And
wow.
So she was our medium. My poor mom.
Was it hatred or was it just like you just weren't interested in having a relationship with him?
I think at that age and feeling like he like took my mom from me and stuff and being 10 years old, not knowing how to process your emotions. It was a little more possessive. It was anger. It was jealousy. It was, and I think on both parts. I think him too. You know, he married my mom really young, so, and he lost his mom really, really young. So I think that feminine love, you know, made it more challenging to see her with like me and stuff, and you know. So I think immaturity in general on both sides, but yeah. So it was tough, man. It was tough for a long time. I mean, we're cool now.
So what changed?
We fought. I think we fought. I was probably like 25, and Dan, you want to know what happened?
Full on fight. I mean, might as well get into it because you're gonna leave me with a cliffhanger here.
I still got bruised. No, I'm just playing. Unfortunately, we did fight. I was a really bad person back in the day, so I was like always tired and maybe using some substances.
Right.
I can really hear myself. a blessing from mom. The fact that my mom got married, it really was a blessing in disguise because I have two wonderful siblings. I have a sister who's 16 going on 32. I have a brother who's 20 going on 19. And the fact that they were able to create both of them and allow them to be in my life, I didn't feel alone anymore and stuff. And so I'm really grateful for that. And I don't know how long it went. We didn't talk for a while, even longer. And then I found God, and now we have a beautiful relationship.
That's cool, man.
Crazy, huh?
I mean, it's crazy the transition that you went from, your gradual sort of, I guess, hatred in a sense, right? Yeah. To go from that to all of a sudden just being able to be bonded now.
It's cool, man. And maybe one day we'll have them on the pod so you guys can see.
Yeah, we'll see both sides of the story and see how much they compare. The stories compare and see if they're actually telling the truth about everything.
So you can see the scars that I've now just like. Anyway, that's just a little bit of kind of how I grew up. Obviously, throughout our episodes, we want to give everyone more, give you guys more, but let's get into a little bit more about you now.
Yeah, man.
Tell us about your childhood. Where do you come from? What gang? I mean, I'm just kidding. He's not a gangster.
Behind the scenes. Well, first of all, my side of the interview is brought to you by Red Bull, the superior energy drink.
Excuse me? Monster, the superior energy drink.
Monster's all sugar. So, man, where do I even start? I was born in Panorama City, but I was raised in Sun Valley, so we got a little something in common. My dad left me when I was like 3 years old, so my mom raised my sister and myself by herself when we were 3. Or when I was 3, my sister's a year older. And I pretty had a great childhood, man. I don't feel like I ever sat down and thought, like, man, like, I need a dad or something like that. Because my mom played both roles of mom and dad perfectly. Yes, I don't know how she did it, but, she's a trooper. And she was always a woman of God, so she was always, trying to lead us down the righteous path and all. And, we had a little rebellious moments. But, overall, I think we had a great childhood, man. And I can't complain. And then when I was about 8, we moved to Van Nuys, and then I've been in Van Nuys, same house ever since I was 8 years old, man. So it's going on quite a while, and I don't have a lot of interesting things, man. I've been married a little over 7 years now, so that's been a huge blessing for me, man. Like, my life's never been better. Yeah, I got that ring on.
You know what I'm saying?
But, man, that's a little bit about me, and then. The idea was just I was always like a big like creative and a big like I would always get lost in my own world because of that same reason that it was kind of like I think my mom and my sister had that that girl bond kind of thing. So even though I didn't feel like I ever needed or like felt like I was missing a dad, I think I found those situations for me so that I can kind of just be in my own space and kind of like grow mentally, like creatively. And so I was always like trying to be a little entrepreneur, like. Even when I was in like middle school, I don't even know if I ever told you this, but in middle school, I think it was, I had a friend and his name was Waldo. And
Did you always have to find him?
yeah, I was always looking for that guy. He was never in class. But we created like a little business where we were getting little Ziploc bags, and we were putting like that.
Hold on, what were you putting in these Ziploc bags, bro?
Let me get there.
Orégano.
Yeah, exactly. So we were getting the Lucas powder from like the ice cream, the paleteros, the ice cream trucks. We were putting them in the Ziploc bag. We wouldn't put the whole thing. We'd put like, let's say like half of it. We're trying to portion it out, right? We'd put half of it. Then you'd put like a little bit of that. I don't even know if it was tajin at the time, but like that chili lime powder that's sort of like Vallarta or something like that. And then we would put Kool-Aid powder into it and just mix that up, and it was like a sweet, salty, spicy kind of flavor.
Wow.
And we would just sell that in little bags, and we were selling it for $1 a piece.
Why don't you make it for me, man?
Yeah, we
I
should.
Try that.
I know I should. It was an interesting, but we were just experimenting at home, and we're like, let's just give it a shot. And then we gave it to a couple friends just to experiment. And you would just see them walking around with like red fingers because like the Kool-Aid powder is like dyeing your fingers. So we were kind of getting in trouble with teachers. Kind of like, yo, what are you guys doing? Like all you guys' fingers are red, and it was the Kool-Aid powder that was dyeing our fingers.
Yeah.
And eventually we're like, yo, people like this stuff. So we ended up being like, well, let's just sell it for like $1 a piece. We'll give them a little bit of powder on a little Ziploc bag, and we just go do that. And that's when then like my creative started. I was trying to look into like how I can get money into everything and like find my ways to kind of just make money and because I never wanted to be like a weight for my mom. Like I never wanted to be something where I'm like she's having to look after me, and like she's always like like I don't want to be as dependent as I want to be. So I was always looking for ways to like not have to ask my mom for money or like have to do my own thing. So yeah, that's kind of a little insight, and that's what kind of sparked the creative, I think, mindset for me.
You know, I you didn't share that story with me. I didn't know that. It is funny how you had to give it to your friends first. You know, you got to let the homies have it for free so that everyone else can buy it.
Yes, that's old school marketing. Right
there. Well, some people still use that. Use that marketing strategy. I think that's really interesting. You always kind of had, it seems like, a spirit of some independence, some responsibility. I think it's cool, man. You never wanted to feel like a burden. I was the opposite. I was the lazy kid. Never wanted to do anything except for play sports. Hated school. I just went to school to play basketball. Yeah. And I actually didn't find that. I think I was always creative, though. Even in class, elementary school, I was drawing. I was always drawing. If there was a drawing contest in the third grade, I was like, I got to do it. And I won one time. I got second place, actually. I didn't win it. It was for Jack in the Box or something. And
I like how you say second place, because if that first place winner is watching this, they go.
I forgot. I thought I was a winner, just not the number one winner. So I was always drawing and stuff, and I think my mom always recognized that too, so she would like encourage that a lot. But as far as like entrepreneurship, I didn't really get into that until I was like 25 years old, when I had hit rock bottom, and I was like, yo, what am I doing? I got to do something. Yeah. But I think it comes from our moms played. So we're both bastards. Let's just clear that up. We both didn't have a dad. Right. I might have had one later on in life, but my mom also played both roles. She did both roles, but I was never really taught like how to be. I didn't have any form of guidance that was like, yo, this is how men are and stuff like that. So I didn't know the power of believing in yourself. Obviously we have God in our life, so he's always our number one guide now. Yeah. But I think you do have to have some level of confidence, self-confidence, and I didn't have that growing up. I didn't even know that. I was ignorant to everything, so I think it was hard for me to develop that entrepreneurship without self-confidence, and I didn't get to tell I was 25, and I realized forget what everyone thinks. Right. As long as they don't break Bible principle, we're good, Right. So it's cool that you were always like that.
So you're considered a late bloomer. It's okay, man. Like, you don't got to be shy about it.
I was a late bloomer in a lot of things.
Like you were telling me about this, and I always think back that somebody told me this, that you're saying like, oh, I was a mama's boy until I was like, what you said, like you said till this day. But a lot of people see that as a weakness. But I'm like, I'm glad to be a mama's boy, man. Too, like, because I, to be able to have a parent like that just can, kind of persevere through all that and just kind of endure and just still put you along with them, and then you're still kind of, we're doing semi okay.
Hey man, we're doing good.
Can't complain. So I think that's, that in itself is kind of like, yeah, I'm a mama's boy. So what? Like, you leave me alone, man.
Well, I think our wives really enjoy it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she enjoys me being a mama's
let's hope
boy.
They do.
Yeah, I know, right? Let me not speak for them. You'll meet them one day.
Yeah. How long you been married now?
3 years, 3.5 years actually. We got married in June, so about 3.5 years. We got married during the pandemic.
Dang, pandemic marriage,
which was cool. We saved so much money.
Oh, I bet. I wish I had a pandemic wedding, man. Like, you have no idea how much, like, I don't even want to think about how much I spent. Like our wedding, like with all the little expenses and all that, we were trying to do calculations the other day. It came out to like over $30,000.
Shut your mouth.
And it wasn't even like
$30K.
We're not made of money. We're not like rich, but it's just like these things add up. Like our wedding venue was like $10,000. Yeah. And of course, me being the kind of I'm such a huge extrovert, and I like to be the life of the party. So of course I had to have a big wedding or whatever. Yeah. So we ended up having like 340 guests at our wedding, and so it was at a big venue in San Fernando.
You have a lot of friends.
Had.
We'll get into that. Yeah. And if you're watching, where are you? What happened? No, I'm just kidding.
Which one of them are you? Are you the ones that are still friends? No, but we had like a lot of it was a lot of people from like that we came up with, or like friends we had along the way. So and then for our honeymoon we splurged too. So it's
where'd you guys go?
Cancun. So but we went all out in Cancun. Yeah, we got an all-inclusive resort, and went to all the parks. We're like more of like the adventures. We don't like to like just go and hang out and chill at the beach. We wanted to go try all the parks. We went to like Escaré and like Census and explore like all those Xel-Há. So it was cool, man, but all those expenses just added up, man, because it was like the venue that I got, because I wanted for 340 people, that's a venue that they rent out but separated in half. So like they'll rent it out as two separate venues. But because I had so many people, they took out the partition in the middle. But now it has two dance floors, one on each side. And I'm like, well, we're trying to be right in the middle because people are around us. So I had to rent even a dance floor, and that ran me like $800 just to rent a dance floor. Then like my family or my wife's family, we all wanted a mariachi, so we have to have a mariachi for a couple hours.
Mexicans.
Yeah, you gotta have it, you know.
Oh wait, how you do it? You're a real Mexican. I'm Portuguese. I'm not Armenian. I'm Portuguese.
I don't know how to do the scream, but I don't know if that was definitely easy.
I know. All right, what's your favorite mariachi song? Or yeah, a song that you like mariachi to play for you.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a tough one. I have a lot, but I don't know names of them though.
You don't?
That's the thing. No,
you just
like.
Can you sing it?
I'm a big radio consumer, so like I don't know a lot of who sings what. What are these songs called? I might not even know how it goes until I actually hear it. You know.
La Puerta Negra or what?
Yeah, but that's not a mariachi song. That's like a banda.
Oh, see, I don't know, man. I'm straight.
Yeah,
I'm a
more
pocho.
Like to dance, you know. The mariachis are more just like. No, even that one's too fast.
You sound like a computer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we had to have that. Just all the expenses like party favors and just like the food that was included with the venue that also ran us a little bill, and like the DJ and like we wanted lights with the DJ and like things like that. So the photographer, videographer, all that calculated,
it, bro.
We planned it, man. And even then, I don't like. There's a lot of things that. Well, a couple of things that we probably would have changed, like photographer, videographers, were the worst.
Yeah, did they mess up?
They messed up bad.
So a lot of people who aren't married aren't aware of this, and those who are married, I'm sure they've gone through this, where you plan as much as possible and you want everything to be perfect, and it's never perfect.
Never. There's
something always goes wrong.
Yeah, there's always that one thing.
What happened with you guys? What went wrong? And then I'll go next.
That's a great question. So it still eats me up till this day because this was in 2016. So it wasn't like back then, there wasn't such a huge focus on like the quality of photos and video that you have. Like it wasn't like, like as long as you have good pictures, it's great. Like nowadays, it's like, it's all about the pictures and the video. Like before it wasn't that. It was just more just like, just trying to have a good wedding.
Yeah.
And so for us, so I try to put more emphasis on making our entrances great. So what we did, I had 6 couples in my bridal party. Yeah. So I try to make a video. We made videos of every couple, like every person individually, the day of the wedding, like if it was live. So I'm recording, like let's say one of the girls, and then we're recording her like as from when she woke up or what she's doing the day of the wedding, up until the moment where she's getting changed and she's getting ready to go, up until the moment where she opens the doors to the banquet hall and she walks in. And when she walks in, the screen goes black and she walks in person. So it feels like it's like a live look into her, like like a camera's following around until she shows up. So that was the idea behind it.
That's dope.
So we did that for every couple. Like it was one person, then they meet up together, and then they show up into the banquet hall. The screen turns off, and they're here. So it was great. 6 couples of that. So it took us months of recording to do. And we had one of our good friends kind of do that. She was into photography and videography, so she helped us out, and she was recording it while we were in the video or whatever. Shout out to Sandra. She was a trooper for that because she was doing all the editing. She was doing all this, like all that good stuff. So, and we were traveling some places because some of our friends, we had one coming from Colorado. I had to give him instructions so he could record himself doing his portion up until he got here. Once he landed, we took an extra part of the video. It was a whole thing.
Wow.
And so it was perfect. I had it perfectly edited and perfect. So then I told the DJ. The DJ said, I'm going to need that video like the day before. Give it to me on a flash drive or whatever. Because I need to make sure that it plays. And then once I got confirmation, I'll let you know. So we're set to go. Perfect. I gave it to him. It was maybe like a 20-minute video. I gave it to him. And I'm assuming he only saw the first 3-4 minutes of it. And he said, yeah, it plays perfect. We're good to go. Wedding day comes or whatever, we're doing entrances or whatever. As soon as like the 3rd, 4th couple walks in, the video freezes.
And
it just glitches out and it's done. And we're still in the lobby, mind you, like waiting because we're the last ones obviously to be introduced. So it's us and like a couple other couples that are still not introduced yet. And we just hear the glitch and we just hear the whole crowd go, oh. And it was like, oh my gosh, this cannot be happening, bro. Like everything was going perfect up until that point. And he tries to play it again, and like a few seconds back, and again it does the same glitch. So I end up just storming into the reception hall. I had no choice, and I just told my MC, and I said, "Listen, just have the DJ play a song and just introduce us by name. Here's a couple names, like just introduce by name, whatever. We'll just come in dancing to a song, and we'll just go sit." So that was it, and we ended up doing that, and then But the cool part was that our friend that was recording, she was kind of like, I have the original one in my computer, but it's at home. And so she had one of her uncles, I think, like run home after they introduced us and we're eating and all that. Yeah. He had one of her uncle like run home and grab it. Yeah. And so then we told everybody like, okay, now that you guys have eaten, we're gonna let you guys finish watching the introduction. So we kind of replayed it again, and then we did it all over.
It worked out.
Yeah, and people were like, "Yo, we're so happy that you played it," because those were funny. So some of them were supposed to be like super funny and all that. And one of them, it was like one of my cousins, he was getting ready like the morning of. And so he was I think at the time he was like living with us in my mom's house. And so he was like, "Toño, like go shower. It's almost time for the wedding." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he runs outside, ties like a water hose to like a chair or something. And then like the water hose turns on, and it's like him like in the video slow-mo. And it's like, "I love rock and roll." You know, like that slow-mo, like getting wet.
The Head and Shoulders commercials.
Yeah. And it's like him with just like a water hose. And so it was like trying to be a comedic part of that. It was, people like ate it up, and it was funny. And so, so it was just that. But to me, the good thing about that was that because he messed up kind of thing, like it was kind of like his mistake because he should have seen it all the way through and told me that it was corrupt or whatever. Yeah. He said, well, because that was kind of our fault because we didn't look the whole thing. Yeah. We're just gonna give you the evening free of a photo booth.
There you go.
So I was like, oh, because the photo booth they were gonna charge me like $1,500 to put it for like 3 hours. So they were like, we'll just give you like 3-4 hours worth of free photo booth time. So like perfect, and people love the photo booth. They still have those pictures up in their fridges and stuff like that. So it was kind of pros and cons, but
I think it worked out though. I bet it does. But it sounds like you still played your video and you got a discount.
Yeah, I get it.
You, instead of paying $31,500, you paid $30,000.
Right.
Hey, I'm thinking about how like there are some people watching this that have money and they're like, just $30,000?
Right.
Man, what the heck? Yeah. I wish I would pay. And then a lot of us are probably like, 30,000. Yeah. Well, for us, that's a funny story, by the way. I've never heard that either. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So what happened with you?
So our thing wasn't really during the wedding. It was during the proposal. Something did happen in the wedding. It wasn't really that big of a deal, but I'll just go for the proposal. I had it planned out. The idea was, so my wife, her name is Lily. She has 2 siblings, and I have 2 siblings, immediate siblings, right? Where I have a brother and a sister. The brother's the older one, the sister's the younger one. My wife has a brother and a sister, but the sister's the older one and the brother's the younger one. So it's kind of reversed.
Yeah, flip-flop.
Yeah, so when we would hang out and we would date, obviously, we date safely, didn't spend a lot of time by ourselves. The siblings were always with us, so we all grew really close. And I said, what if we have our siblings in the proposal? I said that in my mind. I didn't ask her, right?
Right.
Because that would have been weird. And so I wanted to propose at the beach. I created this bottle. I put sand in a bottle with seashells. And because we're religious, I wrote a letter on papyrus paper, which is, paper that the scrolls were written on back in the day. I ordered the paper. I wrote on it. It's really nice because I'm an emo, I'm an emotional man, right? So I write,
You're writing this by hand?
By hand,
No mistakes on it, nothing?
Dude, I went so slow because the paper also, like if you were to smear it, it'll smear.
Yeah.
So I wrote really slow. I folded it up, put a piece of rope on it, stuck it inside the bottle, and then I put one of those little string lights, that has like the really small lights.
Yeah.
And I lit it. So I stuck it in the sand. Her siblings,
you going all out with the details,
bro. Hold up, man. It's because I'm trying to remember it myself.
Right.
And once we
but I mean like the details of like the thought of behind.
Oh yeah. Oh,
of course. So you're a detailed person then.
Man, well, let me tell you what else I did, bro. Okay, I wrote a journal from every time we spent time together, and then I turned it into a book, and I printed it into a book, and I gave it to her on our 1-year anniversary. Okay, but we'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, we gotta get to that.
I should put it right here with all our other books.
You should. Yeah, that's the most important book in there.
Is it? No, just saying. So anyway, so we get to the beach. Her siblings take her off to the bathroom. Me and my brother, who was gonna record it, we go to the sand. And I put the bottle in the sand. I'm like, cool, it's lit. Like when she comes, I'll hold her hand, we'll walk, and she'll see it.
Right.
And she'll, what is this? You know, message in a bottle. So this is funny. She's making her way over towards us. I'm getting nervous. I'm like, all right, cool, it's about to go down. Come here real quick. I call her over. She walks towards me. I grab her hand. I'm like, let's just go for a little walk. And so we're walking, and she's not looking at, she can't see the bottle, but it's lit. And I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at the bottle. I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at nothing. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to point it out.
What is she looking at in this moment? She's just looking at you, looking at the distance.
Just straight. She's just looking straight. She's a very simple woman.
She must know. Maybe she knows what's going on. You think?
Well, we're gonna let her talk about that because she thinks that she knew, and I know that she didn't. Which most women say they knew.
Right.
No. So I'm like, hey, what's that right there? And she goes, huh? So we go over and she opens it. Now, what all the siblings needed to do is we had signs that said, would you marry me? Mm-hmm. So after she read the letter, they were supposed to put the signs up and ask for me, essentially, right? So she took the letter out and she's about to start reading it, and the girls go, they put the signs up. And I look, I'm like, no.
So at this moment, you're thinking it's early.
It's too soon. Okay. She had to feel the love. Because
now the distraction is off.
She knows. And she looks at the sign and she's like, oh. And she hadn't even got through the letter. And so I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, and the girls are like, oh, my God, sorry. And I said, just finish reading the letter. And I have all this on record and on video. And so she reads you know what I realized? The letter was too long. It took like 2 minutes for her to read that whole thing.
Yeah, you wrote a book.
I wrote a book, man. I was really trying to express myself so much that she was like it was like a lot, you know? So anyway.
She gasped at your letter, boy?
Nah, I might have just made that up. But it felt like
but at the point where it's like she already knows what's going on and now you got to get through this whole
If she would have, I wouldn't have been upset because I was like, dang, this letter's really long.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get on one knee and of course she says yes and then we take some pictures and stuff. But
of course she says yes.
Of course you said yes. Come on. Don't you know? No, just like. So that didn't work out. And then in the wedding, I think everyone that was in it just moved really quickly. You know, we had practice like to go slow, and everyone was just. I'm like, dang, all right.
At the wedding.
At the wedding, okay. Yeah, during the intro, the song and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, man. So you know what I really enjoyed about the pandemic wedding?
It's cheap.
I had 22 people at my wedding.
Dang.
And friends, a lot of different friends made food, so I didn't have to like pay for the food. It was really,
so out of
really
pocket,
nice.
What was your cost? Give it to me.
Only wedding costs? Nothing
else?
Yeah,
like everything that's implied, and like little favors and rentals and... I mean, for 22 peoples, but I mean, whatever you had to kind of invest.
I think we just rented chairs and some tables. And that was probably just like $200.
Right.
And then the food was free. Her dad bought her dress for her. She actually had 2 dresses. And
the dad bought both?
What?
Both dresses?
No, she bought one for herself, and then he got the like really expensive one, which she ended up returning at the end. And
so how much?
TMI. How much did I spend? Probably like I'd say $2,000 maybe. Dang, maybe. And we didn't have a honeymoon because it was the pandemic. It had just hit, right? True. I got married in June. The pandemic came in March.
Right.
So it was in that time frame where we didn't really know what was happening or how serious it was.
Yeah. So
we didn't go anywhere.
So how does that? I'm trying to think. Do you just go back to just routine the day after, or do you guys at least take some time off? Were you working?
Yeah, no, we took a few days off and just hung out at home and just spent time together and started to kind of get the feel of being with each other because we waited till we got married for anything to happen, you know. So we didn't live together prior to, and I'm not judging anybody or anything like that. I'm just saying that because that was new. It's like, oh, we're really living together now, So
I got a roommate now.
Oh wow. You snore. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. She doesn't snore. I do. Yeah. But anyway, so I saved a lot of money.
That's crazy.
Crazy, huh?
So in the wedding, nothing really. It was more just like the timing of the song. That was probably the only thing that went wrong.
Yeah, that's probably.
You know what? The only thing for me, now that you're bringing up the proposal, was that nobody got a video of it. Mm-hmm. Like there was pictures, but there's like one quick clip of like somebody that like recorded it like shoom, and it was kind of like you just got to see like her walking into where I was, and like that's it. It just shuts off, and that's it. I didn't think in my mind. I'm like nervous. I'm setting this up. Yeah. By the way, I did it at home. So you might think like, yeah, that's a little corny, but I was for me it was more like the setup to that day. Like I was always like messing around with her, and I was always like, we'll be at the mall, and I just randomly get down on one knee, and she'd be like, stop, and she'll get upset because she's all like, stop, because when you actually do it, I'm not gonna believe you.
Hey, you've created those TikTok videos before those TikTok videos existed.
Before they were.
I see them all the time. Yeah, and he ties his shoe.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh my god, you jerk. Yeah. So that was me, and she's all like, because when it happens, I'm not gonna believe you, and I was like, when you know, you'll know. Like, you'll know when it's happening. Like, she's like, no, because you're always messing around. I was like, you'll know. And so I would always just mess with her, and she's always like, stop, and this and that. We'll always be somewhere romantic, and it's like, I'll do it again, and like, it never happened. And then one time I was like, I did a lot of prep work beforehand. I even told one of her friends, look, like 2 months before, start trying to schedule you to go get your nails done, but just bail on her at the last minute. So that when it actually happens, it doesn't look suspicious. It was just her making up for bailing on you for like 2-3 times. So sure enough, her friend did it. And like from like 2 months ahead of time, she's like, hey, let's go do our nails. She's like, I won't be able to anymore. Sorry, next time. And she would just keep doing it until finally she's like, let's go do our nails. And they just went to go did it. So she saw it as like something normal. Mm-hmm. And same thing. My wife swore she knew when it was going to happen, swore she knew the setup. But this was like 2 months setup. There's no way you knew.
They're not fooling anyone.
Yeah. And eventually it got to where like a family friend, it was their anniversary, and they were like my like spiritual grandparents kind of thing from our religion. Like we were just kind of like, we looked after them a lot, and it was their anniversary. So I told her, hey, we're throwing them an anniversary party, but it's a surprise and it's at my house, so just come through. Yeah. And my house was known as like a bit of a party house, so it's kind of like, it wasn't nothing out of the ordinary. It was like, all right, cool. And so they show up, and then once they get there, it's dark. And so then I tell her, look, it's the party, but they're doing a game for all the women where they all have to be blindfolded because they're doing a game just specifically for the.
You're slick, bro.
Yeah, for the wife. And so I started blindfolding her mom so that she wouldn't get any weird ideas of like, why am I blindfolded? So I blindfolded her mom first, so she would kind of be like, okay, why both of us? Like, okay, it might be part of it. We're all gonna do this. Yeah, and then I had one of my cousins that was already there. I had her blindfolded come out too. So she's like, oh, it's a few of us blindfolded, so she wouldn't feel like an odd man out. Blindfolded her too, and then as soon as I blindfolded her, I took everybody else. Yeah, they all took everybody else's blindfolds off. We had like maybe like 20-30 of our close friends like lined up in the back with like sparklers ready to go. And as soon as she walked up to where I had set up like a little like runner with like a tent and like string lights and all. And I had all that set up, and so I told her, I was like, all right, you're gonna stand right here. And I had my sister walk her while I went to go stand in the net. So I went and go stand in there, and then one of my friends, I told him, okay, play the song, and I played one of our favorite songs. And
which one was it?
Todo Cambió by Camila.
How's it go?
Todo cambió cuando te vi.
Hey.
De blanco y negro. Oh, okay.
Nice. I like.
So as soon as that song plays, she said at that moment is when she knew. So at that moment, my sister walks up with her. She takes the blindfold off, and she's just like in tears. And we had turned off little sparklers on the walkway to me. Yeah. So she walks towards me, and I give her some words, and I was like, I told you, you know, because that was like our thing. I was like, well, you'll know. So I was like, I told her you'll know. So I gave her little words, and then I got down on one knee. And then as soon as she said yes, I turned her around, and all our friends were sparklers in the background. Like,
I see.
So yeah, it was kind of cool. But there's no video of it, man. And that's something that bugs me. There's pictures. But
so it's something that you both will just appreciate in your mind.
Yeah, for the moment. Memory, which in a sense, I'm like, that's beautiful, man.
It is beautiful.
I've hung out with some people that like I have a couple friends that when we hang out with them, no phones are ever out. Like we'll go to like Disneyland. Like I've gone to Disneyland with them. We've gone out like to the mountains and things like that. Their phones are never out. Yeah, and I'm like, y'all visiting Disneyland because they're not like my friends from Colorado. You guys came to visit. We were up here doing this and that. And their phones aren't even out. Yeah. And it's like, nah, man, we'd like to enjoy the moment. If we wanna like remember it, we'll just do it again. And I'm like, it's a good way to look at it.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I probably will still want to take some pictures of video, but I love that.
And my wife is very like, she's all about pictures and like aesthetics and things like that. So she has to get a few pictures in. And I'm not big on pictures, so you won't see pictures of trips from me as much. But she loves it, so it's kind of like we'll be like, oh, this is cool. We'll take a quick picture or whatever, just to post or whatnot. But yeah, man, it was. Wow.
It's a beautiful story, dude.
Yeah, it's nice, but I want that damn video, man.
So people, don't forget your phones. Yeah. DJs, watch the whole movie. Pictures, man.
Record, have all your eggs in one basket before it happens. But even my sister's wedding, I won't go into too much detail because it's not about me, But my sister's wedding, we had spent a while for her to have party favors, like to give out to the crowd. And their idea was, at some point during the dance, we're just going to walk around with this basket of party favors, hand them out to every person, tell them thank you for coming, right? That's like a tradition that a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Perfect. But the night went on, everything was so crazy that they left, the party tables were under the cake table. And night went on, whatever, they cut the cake, we're partying, whatever, we're like having a good time, whatever, party ends, everybody's leaving. And they're like, all right, time to wrap it up. So we're helping clean. I lift up this table cover and all the party favors that are on the table. She had forgot to pass them out. So that was her big thing. That was kind of, we spent so much time trying to get these party favors done, and it was just kind of like, it was just rough. So yeah. So I was like, something's always gonna go wrong, but it happens, man. But
just so anyone, for those that are listening, my wife just walked in. If you heard a door, to make sure that everything is working
make sure
appropriately,
we're still recording,
everything is good. You guys will meet them one day. Hey,
say hi.
Hey,
say hi, Lily.
I love you. Love you, babe. Bye, babe.
She's like, quit being so cringy, bro. I love that our wives are like our wives are both like that. They're so like,
they act like they don't like it. Huh?
Yeah, they're like get so supposedly they get shy or embarrassed, but they're
like, leave me alone. I'm like, come here, I'm gonna hug you. Leave me alone. Give me a kiss.
Don't touch me, not in front of people.
And I'm like, no means no. Okay. I was like,
yeah, there you go.
Nah, man, that's cool, dude. Wow, we love our wives. That's beautiful.
Yeah, man. And then from all that all goes to say that, man, we've had a cool marriage too, but even then, we, like my wife and I, we both started our own small businesses, and that kind of just goes to show the kind of like entrepreneurs that we all are, because you guys are you're the same way, and your family's the same way, because your wife has a little business, you have a hustle, and so all these things. So I think that kind of was a deciding factor for us to do this, because I think I mentioned to you, or you mentioned to me, that we're kind of like, one of our ultimate dreams is to have a podcast. Like, no matter who it is or where it is, it has to happen. Like, because we're just very expressive people, and we're extroverts and all that. So for me, that was one of the things that kind of drove me to kind of want to do this, because it's kind of like I've always had that kind of, let's do it, and this is a trend. Like, this is, I don't want to say trendy,
it's trending,
but at the same time, we can have fun, and it's like, at the end of the day, that's what we told ourselves that we're like, no matter what happens with this thing, we're having fun.
We're just going to have fun. And it is a trendy thing, but I think because it's the future, it's also important. Like, this is changing how people consume their content, their entertainment. Like, honestly, I'm sure a lot of people are like this. I don't know if you're like this, but I don't watch television anymore. One, because I'm always busy, but two, because I just don't watch it. If I watch something, it's a streaming service, which I won't shout out until they sponsor us. No,
yeah, same. It's just sports. That's all I watch on regular TV, just sports, because everything else is either, like a streaming network, or it's like social media, and it's just kind of, you just watch all your videos.
Hey, do you feel like young kids watch podcasts, or is it more like an adult thing right now? Because I just got into it probably like, as far as watching them all the time, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years.
I think it's that gap between Gen Z and like us. What are we?
Well, I think we're still considered
millennials. That's what we are. I think it's that like it dips into both generations, like between millennials and like is it Gen Z, right? After
I think it's Gen Z,
yeah. So I think it's that group of people that still do it, because my wife loves podcasts. She could watch podcasts or listen to podcasts all day long.
Yeah.
I like watching them in doses, but I'll still watch them. And I have like a few that I'm like, I need to, if I come across a clip, I need to watch it. Or if I come across something, I need to just make sure I want the context of it and I want to watch it. But I'm not like, I need to watch a podcast or this is my thing. But I see a lot of podcasts that I'm like, it's for a little bit of a younger audience, but not too young. It's just more like the late teens and like all 20s, maybe, like that kind of vibe. Yeah,
I think it also depends, right? Like on the kind of podcast, because there are podcasts out there that I watch that's like, they're a little, some are funny, some are comedic, but a lot of them are more informative, like, Joe Rogan or Bradley from Raw Talk or whatever, where they talk about like, well, Joe Rogan talks about a lot of variety of things, aliens and stuff, which is kind of cool. It's out of the box. And others are a little more like deep, and they get into their lives and how things that made them feel and how they're growing and things like that, right? But then you have other podcasts like Bobby Lee that's just so funny, just stupid, just
sporadic,
funny.
And just he's all over the place, but he's funny.
Yeah, so maybe it does depend. Maybe it does depend because I know my little brother's 19 or 20, and he watches. I don't remember what he watches, but he told me that it's just like silly, So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what this podcast becomes. Episode 1.
And I'm gonna throw in a little random segment for you. That I'm just gonna throw it to you on the spot and see if you can come up with something so it's nice and genuine.
Oh my god, let's do it.
I want to title this "Warm and Fuzzy." So
what?
It sounds weird.
Okay,
but let me give you a background story.
Give me the warm and fuzzy.
So when I was 17, I started working, and all I was doing was just working with kids. I still work with kids till this day. I was working doing summer camps and like being a camp counselor, where you're getting paid to have fun pretty much, and you were just running around and being funny and being stupid or whatever, and you get paid for that.
Too,
yeah, exactly. And it was all about like challenges and like getting like down and dirty, to like get like colors and like paint and all this stuff, and it was cool. But one of the things that they emphasized for all the employees and all the counselors there was that every week we would have a meeting with the staff, and if somebody ever did something good for you, you would have, there was a little paper called the Warm and Fuzzy. So you would kind of write down kind of like a shout out for that person to kind of like, you made me feel warm and fuzzy in this way because you did this for me. So it was kind of like whenever you came across something that somebody helped you or somebody did something for you, you were like, oh, that was cool. And you read a note to them and you just put it in a box and that was it. Okay. And then when the next meeting came up in the next week, we'd all meet in the morning and it was kind of like, all right, we have a few warm and fuzzy shout outs going on. And so it'd be like, oh, we want to give a shout out to this person because they helped me with my kids out when I needed to do this and this. They kind of helped me out and wash for me. So that's my warm and fuzzy to give you thanks. So it was a cool shout out and it was kind of like a good, like feel good story of like something that happened. And it made people feel appreciated. Yeah. So I kind of want to do that for us, man. I want to do like a little bit like something in the week that maybe happened that made you feel warm and fuzzy. And that kind of explains itself, right? Warm and fuzzy, something that makes you kind of feel warm.
Makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, warm and fuzzy. It's self-explanatory. So if there's a story that maybe you could think of, and I'll give you mine to start off. It was very random, but I'm going to give it to you straight. One thing that made me feel warm and fuzzy, I'm a big animal lover. So something that made me feel warm and fuzzy, it was actually today. Because you told me that your dog was kind of in pain today, man, and you were kind of like your dog is suffering from like hip dysplasia.
Then you gonna make me emotional, bro.
That it was suffering from like it goes through like some hip dysplasia pain and all these things, and so you said, you know what, I'm gonna take time out of my day because you have a newborn son. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
And and I mean that in itself is already a big enough job for you, and you work from home, so you're juggling that, you're juggling your wife and your child, and on top of that, now your doggy that's going through this, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna take time out of my day to go give him a couple walks out of here just to kind of help him with his little bit of ease the pain. That made me feel warm and fuzzy, man. I'm a big animal lover, and I was like, man, the one thing I love seeing is when people can take care and like love their pets like no other, because I have 2 dogs of my own, and those are my kids. So for me to see that, I was like, you know what? There's still good people out in the world that can do that. So that made me feel warm and fuzzy, man.
Hey, man.
So
the segment's supposed to be warm and fuzzy, but I'm super, super warm because tears about to fall down my eyes right now, bro. That's beautiful, man.
By the way, Mikey's a sensitive one here. If you can't tell already.
I'm the sensitive gangster.
Yeah, I tend to be a little bit more cold-hearted, but I'm working on it.
Nah, yeah, man. Well, thank you for sharing that. I didn't realize how, I guess beautiful that must look, but I really did feel bad, and my dog is in pain. I think she might have hip dysplasia or something. She's only 1.5 years old, and she's a pit bull. So I think we don't, because of the baby and stuff, we haven't been able to take her out for walks as much, and so her inactivity, I think, is really affecting her. Yeah. So I feel guilty. I definitely have to take her out. And I agree with you. People who love their animals, I used to like not judge, but I used to look at people who like love their animals, and I was like, yo,
chill out.
And like, you gonna put them in your will, like, But I understand.
Now you're like, yep, I'm putting her in my will.
Yeah, she gonna get all my snacks, all of my clothes. And
by the way, this man, like in a span of like a week or two, we went to the store to like buy stuff for the podcast and things like that. every trip we took, you bought at least 2-3 bags of snacks for your dog. I don't even do that, and I love my. I'll die for my dogs. You were like you're OD with the dog treats, man. And I love it. But I'm just saying,
well,
it's like
look at me, bro. Look at me. I want her to be like me.
Yeah.
Gordita. No, just like and we'll have to show our dogs because you have 2 really beautiful dogs too, and I think that's also something that helped us connect is our love for our animals. But I appreciate that. I actually have 3 Warm&Fuzzies.
Give him some,
and I'll try and get there as quickly as possible. And I'm not saying this only because you mentioned me and your Warm&Fuzzy, but my first one is the fact that you thought about buying my dog some snacks from Costco, FaceTime me and said, "Yo, is this cool?" I think that, and I'm not paying you back for that. I think that's
my contribution to my niece.
I think it's kind of like us taking kind of like, you're an uncle.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I really like that, and I told Lily about it. She didn't even know because you FaceTime me and she was like in another room. And you're like, "Oh my God, they're so nice." And so I really appreciated that for sure. My wife has been killing it with the baby. My baby's almost 3 months old now, and he's a lot of work. We love him to death. He's so adorable. Can't wait for everyone to see him.
Can't wait.
But she's just killing it, man. And I think I was like really exhausted during the week, and I don't know why. She stays up sometimes longer than I do, and she was like, "Just take a nap. Just take a nap. It's okay." And I was like, "Nah." She said, "Just take a nap." I said, I'm gonna take a quick one." I said 20 minutes. It was like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. And she said, "I didn't want to wake you up. I just wanted you to get rest." And I was like, "Man, it's those little things, you know what I mean?" But the third one, and I might get emotional, it's because while we were waiting for you guys to come over, Lily was getting ready, and I had my son with me. And at 3, he's just starting to try and communicate. It's a lot of grunts. It's a lot of right? He's trying to say things, and he doesn't know how to articulate it. And so I'm like jumping him up and down because his legs like move sporadically, right? And I'm like, "Jump, jump, jump." And he starts laughing, and he's like, and he starts giggling, and we don't really hear that all the time because he doesn't do that.
It's in little bits and pieces that you don't get.
Little one, but he did it so consistently with me playing with him, and it was such a pure, beautiful moment. And I look at Lily, and my eyes were building up water, and she's like, "I want to cry," and I was like, "Me too." And it was just like something so small.
Yeah. Did you cry?
Yeah, we both did. Yeah,
nice.
But she couldn't let her tears fall because she had all the makeup here, like before she like moved over.
Yeah.
So she couldn't have tears
that's
fall.
Nice, man. Those are things you're never gonna forget.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That made us both for sure warm and fuzzy.
That's cool, man. Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate
hey, great segment.
Yeah, I like that.
Way to show our emotions,
out of the week. Yeah, you told me. Set this up so that I'm going to get those emotions out of you. So that's a good way to start. That's my contribution to kind of being warm and fuzzy.
Way to take my job, man. You got them out of me, bro. Wow. All right. I hope
we'll get there.
Hey, let's leave that in there.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wonderful. So how do you feel?
That's nice. I feel good, man.
Yeah? You feel warm?
I like it. I feel warm. I feel fuzzy.
Which is ironic because you don't really grow hair, so you can't really be fuzzy. Okay. You know, not to make fun, but you don't grow no hair. You don't have no chest hair. Not that I've seen his chest or anything like that.
No chest hair, man. That's crazy, huh?
That's wild, yeah.
I wonder what that is. What that's about.
You need some whiskey in your life or something like that.
Maybe. I've heard that. I've actually heard that.
This whiskey will give you
chest
hair, boy.
Y'all see this? You want some proof?
No, man. Oh, my God. You got to shut.
No chest hair.
Keep it PG. Keep it PG.
Keep it PG.
Sorry.
Keep it family friendly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Just have to, because people are going to be wondering all the time, so might as well get that doubt out of the way.
Let's wait to see what Jocelyn, which is his wife's name, what Jocelyn says about you showing your chest.
She'll be all right. She loves that I don't have hair. She's like, I don't know what I would think if it was your chest was hairy. I was like, that's gross. I was like, you never know, But right now she's not even fully with the beard. This is kind of like I'm letting the scruff grow out a little bit, and she's still not sold on it. I think it still needs to grow a little bit more. It's only been a couple weeks. I have to see where it goes.
I know. I wish that the audience or the viewers would have seen us 1 month ago, 3 weeks ago, where we were clean shaven, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just like the logo. You see, there's no hair there, guys.
Yeah, we're nice and clean shaven, and now we're just fluff balls.
Well, maybe it'll be a big surprise, huh? People might get used to it and be like, "What happened? Bring the hair back. Bring the hair back."
They're gonna be like, "These guys are so much older now with the hair on their face."
Yeah. But shout out to Monster. Sponsor us, please. This is brought to you by.
We're about to get sued. They're gonna be like, these guys are mooching off of us to get views. You never know.
They're gonna be happy that.
You think so? Getting their name out
there.
That
we're not charging them.
Free promo. Red Bull.
Yeah, free.
Gives you wings.
Red Bull's gonna be like, thank you so much. Hey, are you gonna try all the different flavor? Like every episode, you'll bring a different flavor.
Yeah, I'm trying to mix it up.
You gonna mix it
different energy drinks in general. Just that. I mean.
In one episode, can we mix an energy drink with like alcohol? What? That's like a real thing. Like people.
Yeah, that's true.
Red
Bull
and vodka.
Red Bull vodka.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I know. Because I'm not a drinker like that.
That's all I do. That's all you see. Just Red Bull mixed drinks. Because Red Bull's a superior energy drink. That's why they mix it with alcohol. Because I've never seen a Monster. I don't think I've heard of a Monster.
I like how you said that's all you do. That's all I do. Is drink Red Bull.
No, that's all they do. That's all they do. Just Monster, Red Bull drinks. I've never seen any alcohol Monster drink. Yeah. Have you?
No. Although there's these TikTok videos now where these guys
F1,
are like, who's that?
F1, like
Formula One.
Yeah, Formula One racing.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull's like the number one in the game right now, I think.
I mean, look at the logo. Look at the can. It's like the flag that they wave.
That legit gives you wings, especially when you're racing a car.
Oh yeah. Well, Monster is like killing the BMX.
If you knew it, you would have
X Games.
What's the Monster catchfresh?
Unleash the beast.
Ooh, took you a second.
You know how I know that? You know how I know that? Because I'm the beast.
You have to think about it. I don't know. That's already a bad look for them.
Hey man, I get nervous. Now you put me on the spot. Do you know what these three things mean? These three symbols here?
Yeah, they're like scratches of a monster.
Well,
what are they?
Some people might view it that way.
It's supposed to be an M.
The conspiracy is. Dang, I don't want to get promo to it, but why don't you guys go ahead and Google the conspiracy of monster symbolism? It's supposed to be a number in Hebrew. And I won't tell you what it is. You guys can go look for it.
Dang, what a cliffhanger you just left us with.
Hey, man, people better Google it. Cause
I'm about to Google it myself.
But our phones are recording us.
Right? We'll do it after the show.
Yeah, we'll do it after.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, and we don't have to end it here, but I just wanted to say before I forget, because I have a horrible memory, is all you viewers, let us know what you want to see throughout our season 1. Let us know topics you want us to talk about. We are going to have special guests. We have some friends in different industries that are willing to let us interview them, and that way you guys can get to know them on a personal level, but also what they do as a profession.
Also, if this is content that you guys like to watch and hear about, also let us know, because that's a confidence booster as well. So let us know in the comments. And whatever you can, social media, just shout us out and just kind of let us know if it's working, if it's something else that you might want to see that you think might make it better. We're open to any and all suggestions, man. We're an open book.
The reality is that we want to have fun. I mean, I'm glad that we could do it together,
right.
But we want to cater to you guys too,
Of course.
And as you'll get to know us, you realize that we're not like wild. We're not gonna do a bunch of crazy things, but
we might.
Well, I know, but not too crazy because God's watching.
Right. Keep it limited.
Yeah, we'll keep it under a PG-13 potentially. But so just let us know.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited, man. I'm glad we finally got to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the future. This feels, it's as natural as we wanted it to be. That's exactly what we're aiming for. We want to be as natural as we can be. We want to be relatable. We want to be just the average Joe, just kind of be able to just chit-chat, express yourself, and just kind of just kick it and just, just off the rip.
Off the rip.
Nothing scripted. Nothing, that we're just out here just like looking at boards or something. It's just straight off the rip.
It's not rest in peace. It's RIP, Rare Insights Podcast.
Rare
Okay,
the
Thank
RIP. You for clarifying. Yeah,
just people are gonna be like, oh my God, they're gonna talk about death. No.
Yeah. I think we came up with that idea for the name just because of I think you had told me the rare something, and I was like, what about insights? Like we just give a little bit of insights into our lives and things like that, and then we're rare people. So our insights are always going to be a little different. They're like, we have a lot of contrasting views also. So I think that's also going to play a huge part. We're going to be like, well, they're rare in their insights, so why not make it the Rare Insights podcast?
I can't wait to get deep. I can't wait to get weird.
And for those of those people that are grammatically correct, like I am, because I'm very OCD, I know that if you read that sign, it says the Rare Insights podcast. But it bugs me too. But it's the best way for us to be able to just, hit it out of the park, and we don't care.
No, man. Look, it's the Rare Insights Podcast, Hey, just so you guys know, it is a podcast.
That's just a description. It's not part of the name.
Oh man, now it bothers me, man. You're bad influence,
it won't.
Man.
I like the name of the rip. It's natural. We're like you said, we're talking off the rip. You know, it's I think I like it.
Off the rip. We winged it, huh?
Yeah,
we wrote notes and we didn't even look at the darn notes.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of how this has all come together. Like literally every piece of this has all just been winging it. It literally had, like, if you think about it, we didn't sit down and plan this for more than five. Like every one of these aspects, we didn't sit down and plan it for more than 5 minutes. We just threw the idea and we're like, do we like it? Yes, no, boom, get it. Let's move on.
And in my experience as a musician, because I love music, I'm not like great at it, but I love music. And you can apply this to all things. Is when you collaborate with someone, when you're writing a song, and you're sharing ideas. The overthinking of it it really makes things not work. When people can just say something and be like, I like that, or I don't like that. And for us, it just so happens that everything, like, for example, you want to give them the breakdown of the logo?
Yeah, let's do it.
Billy, just one moment, I think at nighttime, because we tend to talk at night. Yeah. Pause.
Shit.
Our wives seem to think we talk a little too much, but, you know, whatever. That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm married, so it's fine. He just sends me a picture. He's like, yo, what do you think of this? I just kind of designed it on my phone, and it was just you and me, right?
Yeah.
To start. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. I like that. Okay, cool. Let me grab it. I'm gonna see if I can add something. So I just add like the lettering and the yellow outline and things like that. Yeah. And he was like, yo, that's dope. Well, we could fix this, but that's dope. And that was it. And we sent it and they made it. And
thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys want to like, comment, subscribe, you can do all that down below. We appreciate you guys for tuning into The Rip. This has been Billy Ruggs and
Mikey Reds.
We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Like and subscribe.